$1.8 billion fund for people who claim they were targets of politicized prosecutions.
What is happening is you write the check, Trump and his cronies cash it, American taxpayers are going to foot the bill.
More from yesterday's Senate hearing in about 15 minutes. Upper 70s with some sunshine right now, and we have another heat advisory, a high of 93 today with slim chance of showers and severe thunderstorms as a cool front rolls through late in the afternoon. Then tomorrow, showers likely, mainly by late afternoon, mostly cloudy and 68, cooler on Friday.
Support for WNYC comes from the Joyce Theater, presenting Tap City, led by Tony Vogue. Tap City features classic repertory and new works with appearances by Michelle Dorrance, Jason Samuel Smith, and more. Now through May 24th. Tickets at joyce.org.
The federal funding that supported public media for nearly 60 years is gone, and that loss is permanent. That means the future of this station depends even more on the people who listen. During this pledge drive, we're asking you to take that next step. Start a monthly gift or increase your current support, because what WNYC provides every day is worth protecting. Take action now at WNYC.org.
Fighting fire with money.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by 3 Day Blinds. With more than 45 years designing, manufacturing, and installing custom window treatments in a range of styles, like motorized treatments for home automation. Online bookings and consultations at 3dayblinds.com. And by Intuit QuickBooks, integrating payroll, time tracking, human resources, and more in one connected system. More at quickbooks.com/workforce.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore in New York. Each year, the federal government spends about $3 billion fighting wildfires. And this season is off to a rough start. In March, Nebraska had its largest wildfire in state history. Right now, a fire outside of L.A. has forced evacuations. Experts say fire season is getting longer, and that costs money. Marketplace's Caitlin Tan looked into it.
Caitlin Trudeau's family has lived in Southern California a long time.
My grandfather's house actually burned down in one of the fires in January. Luckily, he was totally fine.
That was almost a year and a half ago, but fires are still on Trudeau's mind.
We didn't have this when I was growing up. It wasn't a thing that happened all the time.
Trudeau works for Climate Central, which tracks climate change, and she researches fire weather days,
where you have really hot, dry, and windy weather conditions.
Compared to 50 years ago, parts of the West have 2 more of those hot and windy months.
And it basically sets the stage for extreme fire behavior.
More fire will just mean more suppression costs.
Jude Baham is an economist at Colorado State University. He says that in 2018, Congress set aside about $3 billion to help.
But they're starting to use almost all of that each year, too.
States are trying to fill the gaps, sometimes creatively, like Oregon taxing nicotine pouches. California taxes timber sales, and Wyoming just approved $5 million for 2 state crews that can fight fires.
Why the local firefighters can go back home, go back to their normal jobs, because a lot of them are volunteers.
Jared DeLay is with the Wyoming State Forestry Division. He says just 2 years ago, Wyoming had its 2nd worst wildfire season ever, killing wildlife, livestock, burning prairies.
That may just be grass out there that was burning, but that grass could mean a lot to a rancher and their family.
And he's worried about this summer. The Mountain West is coming off one of the warmest and driest winters in history. I'm Caitlin Tan for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all up in the 2 to 0.7% range, with Dow futures up 98 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is at 4.64%. And the most valuable company in the world, chipmaker NVIDIA, is set to report quarterly earnings later today. It's currently valued at $5.34 trillion.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Wealth Enhancement, a financial planning firm providing comprehensive planning services designed around individual financial goals. Information at wealthenhancement.com/build. And by GEP, helping companies navigate global supply chain challenges through procurement and supply chain strategy services and its AI-native platform, GEP Quantum Intelligence.
There was a time just a few short years ago that Google was behind on AI. And AI was considered an existential threat to its business model, because who needs search when you have AI? That is not how things turned out. Google's parent company, Alphabet, its revenue surged by 22% in a year, according to the latest quarterly report. Its cloud computing revenue exploded by 63%. Even search revenue grew 19%. On Monday, Google and Blackstone announced a deal to create an AI cloud company using $5 billion in equity capital from Blackstone and Google's own specialized chips. So how did Google avoid being left in the dust? Gil Luria is Managing Director and Head of Technology Research at D.A. Davidson, is here to talk about it. Hi, Gil. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So Google's parent company, Alphabet, its market capitalization, that's where you take the number of shares and you multiply it by the price. That measure of value increased by $1 trillion in a year. Big picture, what has been fueling that growth?
AI. So at some point last year, it all clicked. Google has the chips to do AI. They have the data centers to place those chips and host the AI compute. They have the advanced model they call Gemini. They have all the consumers. They have search. And they were able to put all those pieces together. And now they're leading the way in AI.
So it sounds like basically they have a finger in every single pie, all up and down the whole AI supply chain.
That's right. And that's very unique. Because if you think about how the other parts of the artificial intelligence market, it's NVIDIA chips going to a Microsoft data center on an OpenAI model, and there may be a wrapper around that by Perplexity. So it's much more fragmented, and all those companies work well together, but in Google, that's not even an issue.
Speaking of the relationships between all these companies, there is this circularity in the investment between them. You know, the one invests in the other, invests in the other, invests in the first one. It's just a big circle. To what extent is Alphabet's increase in worth just a factor of that? You know, it invests in Anthropic, and then Anthropic's value goes up, so it looks like Google's value goes up.
That's a piece of it. But for Google, it's probably less than some of the other participants. If you think about NVIDIA and Microsoft and Amazon, a lot more of that is them feeding their customers that are feeding them back. For Google, it is really mostly that Anthropic relationship that's been a big boom for Google, but it doesn't explain all of their success. Now, to be fair to all of them, they're doing it to get artificial intelligence off the ground, to have enough compute, to have powerful enough models, and it is starting to pay off. If you look at the results of Anthropic and OpenAI combined, they are at more than $60 billion of annualized run rate. That's from no dollars 2 years ago. And those dollars, that's not circular. That is consumers and businesses paying to use AI.
Gil Luria, Managing Director and Head of Technology Research at D.A. Davidson. Gil, thank you so much.
Thank you.
In New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
WNYC.